Hey everyone. After this weekend's shenanigans, I thought I'd make a market update with my thoughts after, the Trump coin, Melania coin, and the recent 9K 30-minute candle that we put in yesterday. Obviously, this caught a lot of traders off guard, right? I've spoken about this. As you all know, I'm Trump's biggest fan of all time, right? Jokes. The man's a fucking coward. Anyways, um, regarding the market, I think that the top is most likely almost in. I still stand by my correction, or not my correction, my prediction that we still have until March or April, but I think that the top is almost in. And I'll explain here, but you know, the precedence that Trump just put in by launching a meme coin is terrible. Now you can disagree with it, you can agree with it. I don't give a fuck about your opinion. I'm just stating mine and based on my analysis. But when you have a sitting president going and launching a scam, trying to benefit off it, I don't care if it's locked for 80% for however many days they can easily sell, but that doesn't look good for the future of this industry and for the future of the United States, in my opinion. Again, I'm not going to go into politics here. I'm just going to give you my thought process on the market. And if you guys look at my previous, Bitcoin market updates, I've talked about that we started this move once we broke out of, for here, like, this is when the last bull market started, right? We had a change of structure. We had higher high put in, higher low. And same thing here, right? Higher high, higher low, and then the structure changed. So this, I know this is Bybit, or Binance here. Let me go to, let me show this. Okay. So same thing here. What the fuck? This is Bybit, sorry. Same thing here, right? A little bit further back, but the thought process still remains here. We still started the bull run, okay, once this structure changed from here. Okay, went up, made a higher low, and then continued to grind higher. Now this bull run lasted about till here, depending on how long you wanted to take it from. I'm struggling. I'm very hungover. Sorry. And again, all my videos have no editing. They're raw, as they should be. So 448 days from that first higher low put in and up until the cycle top here, it's about 448 days. Same thought process here. As you can see, I had this previously mapped before. I've talked about this multiple times. This is the exact same chart that I used. And same thing here, right? If we start from this moment, we put in the higher low up until now-ish, 707 days, okay? So we've gone more than the previous cycle in terms of length, okay? And that's one thing that I'm taking a look at and keeping that into account, right? We've already overextended this whole entire move. Outside of that, we also did put in a 5-wave structure. Okay, I've talked about this as well. Okay, 3, 4, and again, 5th wave, I'm pushing up until 120, 130K max. Those are the wicks included, but this could have already been the top. This could have been a 5-wave top, all right? But again, I'm keeping 120 to 130 as my cycle top here. I haven't retraced on that. I still think, we have a little bit more upside in terms of Bitcoin, but we also have to keep in mind, what if this 109, 110, whatever it was the top. Now, if we take a look at spot versus perps here, we can see clearly that we have about $100 discount on Coinbase compared to perps. If you guys were in the Discord with me yesterday, I posted this as well. When we were at 105, almost 106k, that Binance or Coinbase spot buying was inorganic. We were led by perps, and let me quickly post that here because the context is important, and the context still applies to where we are currently. All right, and this was the post here. Okay. So yesterday, when we were almost at 106k, right, we had the first time where Coinbase price was heavily discounted compared to perps. This was about almost $150 discount, and this is usually a lagging indicator for a move down. Well, we got a move up to like 106 point whatever, and then a flash crash to like 99k. All right, same thing still applies here. The discount's about $100. All right, so this is a lead perp rally, a perp-driven lead rally. All right. And something just smells fishy about that 30-minute candle that went up 9k. So it could be insider news, whatever it is. We have big news coming regardless. Whether it's Trump speaking about this policy or whatever else it may be, it's going to be pretty big, right? So looking back here, if we're talking about our fifth, wave up with a 130 max upside, we also have to take a look at this on a lower time frame. On a lower time frame, if we close the daily like this, we have a swing failure pattern. We already swept the highs here, and this is a disgusting candle. If we are unable to get above this 104.6k, this is also the point of short that I gave you guys to take before we went from 105 back down to here. That was the daily SR point along with the fair value gap. All right, look at this. So if we take here to here, it filled perfectly before we went down, right? Back into it, and then rejection. And then obviously the 30-minute candle. So what I'm looking for on a lower time frame, if we are unable to get above, and this is a perp chart, as we saw, Coinbase is still $100 discount. If we are unable to get above this on the daily, all right, I am looking for these lows on that lower time frame to be swept one more time. So these lows that we put in, we can also go as low as 95k. All right, this is a previous point that we broke out from, retested it briefly, but we can actually go to 95k. Invalidation, like if you think that we're going to go higher, your invalidation would be below here. Okay, a daily close below 90k, and then you target 115. All right, but if this was the top, right, then your other short would be here, right? Like market short. It's going to be very risky because again, we can still have the regulation or Trump coming out with some bullshit the other or next day or today. This would be your short buys. Okay. Personally, like I said, fifth wave has already been placed with 130 upside. I expect alts to run here. If we were to break this down a little bit further, we take a look at Bitcoin dominance here, right? We are above the level that I wanted us to reject from. Okay, so either this puts in another lower high here and rejects, right? But if we take a look at this trend, we made a lower high, put in a higher low, and if we come back down here, we could put another higher low and continue to grind higher. So I would like us to reject before making another higher low and move. I want us to reject back down to 54%, 55% to let alts breathe a little bit. And this will be the last leg up. Okay, so we want Bitcoin to just consolidate here for a little bit, for a few weeks, maybe until the end of February, beginning of March. Let alts run up until that point. Most alts are not going to go back to their highs. Like for example, I'll go for Sol. I think possibly the cycle top for Sol is in. Um, but other coins like Link, Aave, and stuff like that are very strong because of ETH, and ETH is going to be the main focus for me on this next leg up. So if we take a look at ETH here, okay, now this is my spot entry, but let's take a look at this perp chart. ETH was at the same price Bitcoin was when it was at 109, right? So ETH has been showing relatively very, very strong momentum and buying pressure. Now, Trump has been buying ETH for his WorldFi, whatever bullshit, but we have a clear falling wedge here, all right? And, this was swept on that first move down, okay? So what I'm looking at, and like a lot of people are seeing this as well, they're saying, oh, look, we have a possible inverse head and shoulders, right? As long as we are above 3K here, so invalidation, as long as we are above 3K, this should go higher, okay? But as soon as we close below this 3K level, then this whole entire plan's invalidated. So my thought process is this. Hopefully, Bitcoin goes down a little bit, all right? Profits are taken out from Bitcoin and transferred into ETH, and ETH finally runs. Now, if we're longing here with invalidations below 3K, I'm looking for these new highs to be tested, all right? Now, this was our range. We had accumulation, deviation, and this should be enough for an expansion to the upside. My targets for ETH, hopefully, first are going to be the range highs level around 3,900 to 4,000. If we get a nice breakout after that, I don't see us going above 5K. 5K would be a SFP of these highs here, and then a further move down. Okay, so that is my final TPs for ETH, but I would love for me to sell my entire bag around that price, but as we get higher and higher, I'm starting to build my exit plan, which I'll discuss solely in the Discords. It won't be on YouTube, but as long as the trend is up, that is your friend. If we fall below this level, this is your invalidation level. If we, are continue grinding higher, let's say we come, something like this. Let's say we don't make that move up. We just go to the range highs level and fall down below here. We lost the trend. That is it for ETH, and that is another confirmation that the cycle top is in. Okay, we need ETH to run here for alts to do well. Okay, and if ETH runs, you want to focus on those betas. And one of the strongest betas is going to be, AVE or Aave, however you want to say it, which is one of the strongest coins that I pointed out in my last video with my top 5 bullish coins, right? Obviously, no one expected Trump to release a coin, and a lot of the markets got hit. But the strongest coins, Fartcoin did 100x, 100% from my video. Aave went up like 10-15%. Obviously, Litecoin died, and a lot of other coins died as well. The beneficiaries, or the ones that benefited, were Sol and Trump and whatever else garbage was on the Sol network. But Dogecoin completely plateaued because, like I said, a lot of the other markets did as well. So right now, the strongest coins are those Trump coins. So ENA, AVE, Link, so on and so forth. That should be your main focus if you think ETH is going to go higher, all right? So that's what I'm looking for ETH. My focus will be on ETH moving forward. And like I said, if you think we're going to go higher, then longing now with your stops below 3K or invalidation below 3K and targeting the range highs is the way to go. Now, I'm already exposed in the ETH markets from 34.64, right? We already took profit, so I'm not going to be looking to add to my positions. If anything, if we go lower, I'll add, but I just, this week and the next couple of weeks, less trades. I want to see what's going to be coming out from Trump and his cabinet, and I want to see how that's going to affect. I think it's going to be a very volatile week in general, so just keep an eye out on that, and you have to start working on your exit plans. All right. Now, Sol, all right, Sol on the monthly looks like a bearish divergence, right? So price is making higher highs while RSI is making lower highs here, right? Now, if we go to the weekly, same thing here, right? So we have a bearish divergence forming, which tells me most likely that the top that we just put in, now look at this on the weekly, let me just remove here, okay, that this top that we just blew, okay, look how we SFP'd and then plateaued, and we just took out this most recent high as well, closed below, creating an SFP, okay? So if we're taking a look at this on a line scale here, this just put in a double top. All right. So I am bearish on Sol. We might have that push up, but everything tells me that this most likely was, and most likely we have invalidation points. I'm never speaking uncertainties. I have no bias when it comes to crypto. I can be bullish one day and bearish the next day. But if we're talking about, charts and currently with the bearish divergence forming, with the weekly SFP and the potential double top, this most likely goes lower. But if you are going to play it, then if playing it on two occasions works here. One would be a sweep of these lows here. Okay, look here. So on this whole entire move up, we were putting in higher highs and higher lows, and this is actually one of the patterns that I share with my students, and I say it's super effective. And if any of my students are watching, check this out right here. You have the Quasimodo pattern, okay? And what the Quasimodo pattern is, and I'm getting it here for you guys, is a trend change, okay? So if we go to a lower time frame, that you can see this much more clear, right? This whole entire move up here, we were making higher highs and higher lows, okay? Well, higher high, higher low. This one won't be a higher high, but it can be. Okay, higher high, higher low, higher high, broke below the previous higher high, made a lower low, and rejected at the neckline of the higher high, creating a lower high. So this is a trend reversal pattern. Okay, so this usually sends us lower to a previous higher low. So if we talk about this being a higher low or this being a higher low, that's where price most likely goes. First, I want to see a sweep of these levels. If we get a sweep of those levels, possibly put in a double bottom here, we could back range and here put another lower high and then go further down. Now, also, we could draw a potential falling wedge playing out here. Okay. So again, sweeping those lows makes sense. Another trend line touch, go back above, and that is your long trigger. Wait for these lows to be swept, close above it, creating an SFP and going higher. Now, what is an example of an SFP? We just had one on Sol. Okay, so here's an example of an SFP on Sol. Right? There is the lows. We took it out, closed above, and then continued to grind. Right? Lower time frame. We haven't had an SFP. Here are your lows. Wait for that to be swept, close above, and then grind higher. Now again, same type of pattern here, right? We swept the lows on the daily, put in an SFP. Now, but look at this on a lower time frame. This is a standard double bottom. Okay, bounce, bounce, creating double bottom and going higher. So expect to possibly see one on a lower time frame come back down, SFP, close above. That is your long trigger. Stops, somewhere below. If we wick down to, let's say, like 122 and claim that, right? Or yeah, 122, that's where your stops are going to be, and then you target a little bit higher. Now the range most likely is going to be something like this. This is going to be your range now, right? So I don't care for any other analysts or viewpoints. Like, I'm giving my viewpoint. I'm not going to piggyback off anyone else. And right now, thoughts are that the cycle top is most likely coming in. So you have maybe another month and a half to, make good gains, and then we start a bear market, and you literally short everything, and you play the reverse playbook of the bull run. Okay, now going back to this, and I forgot to mention it. Okay, we are here in terms of this cycle. Okay, we are on this leg up. This leg up here is where most coins, you have some outliers made their all-time highs here, but this is where most coins made their highs. Okay, came back down, and then we have this grind up. We did not go much higher from previous highs, right? We went to only like 69K, so only a 6% or $6,000 move up from those highs. We are doing this right now. All right. Now April, I also, have a viewpoint of, if this is our April top, just like last cycle, we come back down, and then maybe in November we have another pump, but at that point alts are going to be dead. So my assumption or my analysis shows that we are about to start this last leg up, and we are about, right, like we are about here. Okay, so either we get a slight move down and then move up top, blow off top. Maybe again, this becomes the November move and then a slow grind down. But I, again, think that we are near the top, and everyone should build their exit plans. Okay. Now, again, invalidation levels are there. Above 120K, and we consolidate there for a little bit, then yes, we're going to go much higher. But from what I see at this current point in time, is that we are brewing close to a cycle top. All right. And I will give my unbiased opinion every single time. I've been bullish, I've been bearish, and I don't mind flip-flopping. That's the whole point of a trader. That's what makes a good trader. If you are a single-headed individual who can't see a bearish opportunity or a bearish viewpoint, then I'm sorry, you will lose your money. And to be honest, you have to be able to adapt to this market condition. So please keep an open mind. But that is my analysis. That's what I'm going to stick with. In terms of my exit plan, I'll probably share it sometime next week or this week in only the Discords. All right. So that is it from me. Most likely won't be making a Sunday video, and if I do, it's going to be a little bit earlier. I'm just going to be very busy in the next few weeks. So that is it for me, and hopefully I was able to give you guys some analysis or viewpoint to see things a little bit differently. We are not perfect. Analysts are not 100% perfect. This is why I said, I could be wrong, but from what I see currently, this is my viewpoint. All right, so I'll catch you guys later.